Venezuela, they have the largest proven crude reserves on earth, more than Iran. Iran is number 2, they're number 1. So Saudi Arabia, they think is number 1. They're number 3, I think, or 4. Russia has some, we have some, but the big mother lode is in Venezuela. But it's heavy crude. It's very hard to refine and very hard to turn into gasoline. So Citgo is their big company. They do supply some gas, right? But they're not the biggest. But what they and Saudi and all the others, what they actually do that helps the U.S. economy, they all trade in petrodollars. So the petrodollar is an invention that the United States came up with, I want to say during the Nixon administration, where essentially they said, if you sell your oil in dollars and only in dollars, never put it in yen, don't put it in rubles, just do it in dollars. You sell your oil in dollars and then you take what's called that petrodollar and you deposit that back into the US by buying US bonds. That transaction of selling oil in petrodollars and then taking the proceeds and buying US bonds is literally what props up our economy. No one talks about it. It's just too weird in the weeds and people in the news media don't think about it. But that petrodollar system is keeping our economy afloat. The reason BRICS is such a risk to the United States is that they're their own little coalition. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
BRICS. Yep. If BRICS ever became BRICS, y'all family country, if Nigeria, which is really playing with entering it, which is a major oil producing country.
Yeah, seventh in the world.
Seventh in the world. So let's say Nigeria gets in it. What about Somalia? Why do we care so much about Somalis? Somalia has a lot of oil too. What if Somalia were to go in it and become another S in BRICS? If these countries and the global south, and they're tied to Russia, because the R in BRICS is Russia, and the C in BRICS is China. If that global south conglomerate, it can literally challenge American dominance on the earth. And if they ever said, now we're going to trade oil in rubles or in yuan, in Chinese yuan, we're cooked. Our economy is cooked. And the reason—
So what would happen to all the people, like reserves of people's bank accounts and the value of the dollar and this?
Down. And Trump is already pushing the value of the dollar down. The value of the dollar—
How so?
Trump wants a weak dollar because it makes it cheaper to buy U.S. goods. So Trump has been doing all of these things to try to get people focused on Bitcoin and all of these other things. And also his tariffs are making the dollar go down in value, which for Americans, if you sell stuff, it's good because if the dollar is lower, it's cheaper to buy American stuff, right? If the dollar is worth less, you can actually buy more stuff. And so Trump thinks that's going to produce this big industrial trade. It's not doing that. All that's happening is the tariffs are pissing people off, causing people to say, fuck you, we're out of here, we don't want to deal with you at all. We may actually want to just start selling stuff in Chinese yuan. And that's the big risk. China is playing a long game. They've been around for thousands of years, honey. We've been around for 250. They're like, go ahead, little baby, go ahead and keep playing with us, toddler. We're going to sit back in our Chinese Confucius way and wait for y'all empire to fall.
That's crazy.
Victor Gao.
Yes.
Victor Gao said that to J.D. Vance's when J.D. Vance goes, these peasants, he called them
peasants.
Mr. J.D. Vance.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
You called us peasants, but I'm proud to be from peasants. In fact, we went to the same law school. I went before you. Maybe you need to go back and review. And besides, China's 5,000 years old.
Come on.
You're only 200. So you're nothing compared to China. It would behoove you to, he
crushed him.
Mike dropped his ass.
And the reality is, if I'm betting, who are you going to bet on? The country that's dropping $1.3 million bombs on $20,000 drones in Iran, spending, what are we spending, $1 billion a week to bomb Iran? Every single bomb we drop is $1.3 million. Every single drone Iran puts up is $20,000. So we're already in a deficit with this war. We're already
just by
every time we drop a bomb. Trump has called Raytheon and the other big industrial military companies to come to the White House for emergency meetings to say, you need to produce more. We need more bombs because we're dropping so many and spending and wasting so much money. So we're now in the position the old Soviet Union was in. They spent themselves to death in Afghanistan. Their wars, they eventually they destroyed themselves. It wasn't Reagan that destroyed them. They destroyed themselves by fighting for 20 years in Afghanistan. We did Afghanistan for 20 years. We did Iraq for 15 years. We've now done Iran, which is now spiraling into a regional war. They're now bombing.
I mean, he's just going everywhere.
Everywhere.
He wants to, but Trump has had this dream of being a dictator.
Global
He
dictator.
wants to be this MacArthur. It's this grandiose thing.
Yeah.
That bomb them. He just wants. It's like he's cosplaying a president.
And with that, like, I'm like, wait, what is the impact in the economics? Because if that's happening and you're seeing that, like, what does that bleed out and look like to the average person, like the everyday person? How does that manifest?
What I would say is be very careful because our stock market right now is mainly propped up by AI companies. Our economy is mainly propped up by AI companies. We've bet so big on AI. It is a bubble. Eventually that bubble is going to burst.
Yeah.
And the two industries that we are currently propping up in America is incarceration, the mass incarceration of immigrants. That's the new business we're in. That's the only new business we've created in the last decade other than AI.
No.
And we're building AI plants which are polluting our country and betting on that as the future. And the third thing is you've got these billionaires, these oligarchs who think they can eventually replace all currency globally with crypto. And so they think they can just create this crypto economy where you trade everything in blockchain and all this other bullshit and replace all currency with that. In the end, what happens is they get to be trillionaires and a lot of people end up poor. And so I think we are losing our empire. Our empire is fading. Donald Trump is a fading dictator who's basically running us out. He's wringing out whatever was good in this country, and he's going to turn us into a third world country. America is going to be the ghetto because of Donald John Trump. And I liken the election in 2024 to that scene in Sinners where those people were in the juke joint. And you know what the rule is when you're in a juke joint. Don't let the vampires in. And these motherfuckers let the vampires in.
Yeah.
And it never goes well when you do that.
You think China is looking at this and going, wait, this is why we're going to start? Because you're seeing a big presence around Africa. You see Nigeria helping to build
infrastructure.
Oh yeah, you know who China is in Sinners? The indigenous people. They said, we told you that there were some vampires over there, and we said they was dancing an Irish jig. If you don't want to hear it, we're out. They're waiting for everything to take place in the juke joint and just waiting to clean up the pieces. China, we are entering the great China century. China will win the Game of Thrones.
Wow, that's deep.
Gavin Newsom, what do you think?
I mean, I like Gavin's energy.
And he seems like the guy. He's so pissed at Trump. I swear, when his speeches, he just goes, "Yo, I want to knock him out. I just want to hit him." I think Gavin might be the guy. That's all. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
He
talks a good game.
He talks a good. I'm not saying he's perfect. He's slick, but he has the look.
Yeah.
And,
he does.
And he's angry enough at him.
That's a crazy even thought, right? That he has the look.
No, but there's
Americans
a look.
are visual.
We're visual. There is a look, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
well,
crazy.
you see Pritzker's trying to lose weight to get the look.
Who's that?
Pritzker's trying to lose weight, and JB Pritzker, he's trying to lose weight quick.
There is a look. That's a
crazy
thing.
Yeah.
Because, because a lot of presidents are tall, too.
Yes.
So that.
And he's taller than Trump.
Oh, he's taller than him. Damn. Yeah. So, that is a
which
big
will
deal.
intimidate Trump.
You don't think Trump will even think about this third term?
Yes, he will.
Him and Bannon.
I know I've heard him, but
yes, he will.
Oh yeah.
But Trump is not going to leave.
How could he possibly do that?
How could he possibly do any of the things he's doing? Those tariffs are illegal. The war in Iran is illegal. Him enriching himself off of crypto while he's president. Melania having $ Melania, which looks like Melania, having that, and all of this is illegal. Everything. He's just like, I do illegal. And come and get me.
You think he's going to try for a third term? I know he said it. I don't want people think I know he said this.
No,
maybe I could.
Steve Bannon's like, we're gonna do. He's like the town drunk. Let me tell you.
So just to be like, so do you think that's something that he would actually literally? Wow.
Yeah.
Because the only way Donald Trump can ensure he never goes to prison is to be president.
Yeah.
Being president is how he stays out of prison.
He said if he doesn't, he goes, if I don't get midterms, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna go to jail. He said it in the speech. I was watching him, and you're going to lose midterms.
He is.
Because
You're
I
going
think,
to
I
lose
think
Well, if there are midterms.
yeah.
That are legitimately run, right? If they don't,
because he's always trying
steal
to erase certain things
right.
too.
They're trying to do national emergency. He's toying around with the idea, could I have a national emergency and postpone the midterms because that's
because
what
of a war.
Zelensky did.
Yeah.
If there's a war.
If there's a war, you can't have
But I think
an
people
election.
are waking up because the Supreme Court shut down. Like what, a week and a half ago, he asked for something. I can't remember. He was pissed, and the Supreme Court was like, "Nah, you're not getting that."
I wouldn't, and the thing is, I wouldn't count on John Roberts and them to stop Trump. I mean, the problem with the United States now, and it's ironic because we're in our 250th birthday of the Declaration of Independence, is that we have monarchists. Just like, Iran has monarchists who are like dreaming of putting the Shah back on the throne. We have monarchists who really want a king. And I think one of them is John Roberts of the Supreme Court. I think those six, they would very much like to have a king, and they would like it to be a conservative Republican because